Well, we're here with the amazing, world-famous Moxy Fürvous. Hey, guys, welcome to Montreal.
Thank you.
Good to
Thanks,
be
Paul.
here.
Thanks, Paul.
So what brings you to Montreal this time?
Oh, really checking out the cuisine more than
Some
anything.
good pizza last night.
Have you guys tried smoked meat, something you can't find anywhere else in Canada?
I couldn't fit it into the paper, and it made it all soggy.
Now, the question that comes to mind, like, what is Moxy Fürvous? It sounds like an ice cream flavor from Denmark. And can you who came up with that?
It's a brand of crayons from Austria, actually. It's close.
No, it was actually named after Jacques Angus Fürvous, who was one of the original trainers. Well, not one of the original trainers, but who was a trainer for Les Habitants, the Canadians. We being hockey fans, we would look back at these old shots of the 1950s, 1960s Canadians, Toe Blake behind the bench. We saw this little guy, impish guy, at the end of the bench, and we wondered who he was.
Cherubic.
Turns out, cherubic impish man. Turns out he was the Scottish French Canadian Jacques Angus Fürvous, where we found our inspiration.
That's totally awesome. What can I say? Okay, tell me about some other gigs you played in Montreal. You played the Montreal Spectrum. You were here last year for the McGill Open House. Tell me about some of the other gigs around Montreal and around the country that have made you who you are.
We had the incredible opportunity last year of opening 2 nights for Bob Dylan at Massey Hall, which was wild because, you know, it's Bob Dylan and everything, but also because we got to sing in Massey Hall, which is just about the best place in Toronto, and it's huge and it sounds great. And we even got to sing our final song there without the mics. We stepped in front of the mics and did an a cappella song. And basically, there wasn't a dry eye in the house.
God, or a stomach.
Or a dry seat in the house, for that matter.
Can you tell us? Can you tell us about some of your inspirations? And I've read that it makes you guys happy if people can't compare you to anyone. Why's that?
Yay.
We just like to see people fail.
If they try, it's great. They try.
It's not necessarily not comparing us to anyone. It's that what we do is sort of unique, and it's a mix of pop music, quasi a cappella pop music, because it's a cappella, but we sometimes use instruments.
Sometimes use instruments, yeah.
And
Any musical
and
instruments?
also musical theater and political satire. So we have, it's a natural phenomenon, as Murray would say, to try and compare a group, and we've tried to, and we think if you come out and see the show, that you'll notice that there's a lot of elements that come together to make Moxy Fürvous that make us a little difficult to categorize.
Now, speaking of political satire, you guys had something to do with the constitutional talks, and you guys were like role models, or at least trying to say something about it. What was that all about?
We had something to do with the final no vote, I think.
Because we were voting yes.
Yeah, we sort of orchestrated that vote to a great extent. It was very close, especially in the in Ontario, and I think we had a lot to do with that, swinging it over to the no side.
So now you know why this country is doing what was it, 70-30 yes no? What was it?
No.
55-45.
And you think you're responsible for that?
Yeah, for going both ways, actually.
In whole or in part,
Yeah.
On either side of the fence,
Yeah.
ambiguity being one
Whatever
of our
you want.
strengths.
Contributed to
We were
us.
actually responsible for people voting and not voting.
That's right.
You know, we have some songs to be serious for a second. We have a couple songs about the Constitution and some of the pros and the cons and the
Mark?
yeses and the no sides.
Are your issues more Canadian or more global? Or what do you guys really like to focus on when you're really serious?
More like the global television network in Canada. So it's
We focus on quite a number of things. The Gulf War song is an indication of something quite global, and it's a distinctly Canadian perspective of something happening.
Okay, well,
here's a little cherub of the constitutional crisis. One of the constitutional crisis.
You can't just use
songs.
words like that.
This morning, all full of fear and trembling, constituents were assembling with quotes from Mr. Angus Reid in hand. Joe Clark struck up the band for a televised love and link-up, wherein average folks could think of ways to save our troubled land. Then Later, 3 trucks with big antennas, folks dressed like Frank McKenna's, and cub reporters showed up on my lawn. Flash bulb shook the dawn, and a teleprompter told me to speak the words out boldly for a can't say telethon. I think I love you. Can they hear that out in Moose Jaw? Here's a simple guy from Oshawa with a heaping homespun hunk of national pride. I think I love you. Get some makeup on the neighbors. It's a humble folksy plea. Pick it up on camera 3.
They gave me coffee and made me sit with others whom, if they had their druthers, would rather be home watching NFL. But I guess it's just as well that we find a common zeitgeist before Preston pulls a seat heist in a parliament from hell.
The Can't Save satellite sent word from downtown Gander, where folks refused to pander to ultimatums set by neighbor kin. We were about to pack it in when our Brian started praying. Let's all act like Sir John A. In other words,
Let's hit the gym. Then came Alberta with a message from the Saddle Dome. Said Canada's their true home. There's just some slight adjustments for us all. They'd like to build a massive wall, top it with the bubble pronto, so they could call Toronto the all-new East Edmonton Mall. Let's say we love you. We'll avert this national quagmire, throw grudges on the bonfire, and focus on the possibilities for a solution. We'll fix that constitution. But face it, what the heck? We know zilch about Quebec.
don't know about you folks, but I get nocturnal emissions when I think of royal commissions. They really turn my patriotic crank, and we've got the feds to thank for the provinces spewing cheap bile. They all want to top the heap while Uncle Sam holds up the bank.
I'll eat my Bricklin if I read another headline about a looming deadline and well-dressed men content to roll the dice. Guns to the head aren't nice when the patient's quickly fading. We don't need this angst parading. When an anthem will suffice, we'll sing, we love you. You're a jumbo hero sandwich. Top it off with Peter Mansbridge. 2 Huskies and a bucket of poutine. Canada, we love you so much it doesn't matter.
You're a frigid, spineless pawn
For Wall Street and the Pentagon. But geez, we love you.
Paul?
Oh, jeez. All right.
goes crazy in the studio.
Studio audience.
I don't notice Ron, Trevor, or Francois clapping.
Sorry, I got my hands full.
They have their hand, they get their hands. They're like they said, their hands full. So, guys, is this the type of show we can expect in more detail? What can we expect at Club Soda or other shows?
Well, live during that song, just as an example, Dave picks up Mike and flings him into Jean's waiting arms.
Now, you guys have been pretty successful, selling over 35,000 copies of your cassette all over. I mean,
For us, guys. Let's have a big hand for us. Moxy Fürvous, ladies and gentlemen, Moxy Fürvous.
Thank you. We're
Put
gonna
up
get,
those stats.
I think we're gonna get Mary Kay Cadillacs pretty soon too.
Oh,
you know?
God.
Yeah.
and what do you think attributes to that kind of success? Like really quick and unprecedented by other bands, like on an independent label.
Just general stupidity of the population, really, to go out and buy the cassette. You know, it's
You can fool a
it's
lot of
obviously
people
a
a
scam.
lot of the time.
You
A
know,
lot of people don't realize that they can get our entire repertoire on email. Punch it up and just get spit right out. But they go
Totally
to
for free.
they go to Sam's and HMVs and the major metropolitan centers of this nation, and they purchase the very inexpensive 6-song Moxy Fürvous teaser cassette featuring on the cover the famous flying criminal budgie dog. But it's a cassette. It's not a CD.
and it is flattering though that people have bought it across the country and continue to buy it. They have bought it, they are buying it, and they continue to buy it. Murray?
Exactly.
We hope to go. Oh, sorry.
I think people are, to wax serious and philosophic for a second, I think you at home, the home viewer, are intrigued by Moxy Fürvous, you're refreshed by our new challenging sound and wit, our astute observations, our spot-on harmonies, our sparse yet effective instrumentation, our march toward a greater society, a greater humanity.
Our sparse yet effective brains.
Dum 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 dum.
Yes,
dum,
Moxy Fürvous hopes to go right through the top, somewhat like the way my finger goes right through this napkin, but not really.
Dum 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 dum. Thank you.
Well, you saw it here. These guys are really amazing. Now tell us about the King of Spain. What?
Just a total
Arsonist.
Man has more skeletons in his
pedophile.
closet
What do
than-
you want to know about him?
That's the Addiction Research Foundation.
How did that video come around? Where did you guys shoot that? And what is that song all about?
Well, first of all, we shot it outside of the Bloor Cinema in Toronto, which is a rep theater that we used to busk in front of for years and years, 10, 12 years. No, just a couple summers we busked in front of that every Friday, and that's where we really started, so we figured we'd shoot the video outside there because it was our roots. It's where we came from. And the King of Spain is just a guy loving life and not holding anything too tightly, not tying himself to anything materially, and just living life to the
Well, he's loving life and he's Leavenworth.
and leaving bread.
It's really just a video what they've been playing, and we don't really know what the song's about.
Well, we're gonna find out what it's all about. We're gonna run the clip right now. So you're gonna roll that for us, Ron?
Now, is that prompt or what? They have the video up there.
Technology.
Okay. Well, we'll try to get it. Pornography. Okay, so
Ecstasy.
are we? We're not running it now, are we? Ron?
No, we're gonna come right back.
Okay.
Are we going live into the loop here?
You're gonna be on this afternoon, and you're gonna be on next week too.
Concordia.
Great.
Yeah. So we're gonna do
circuit.
two extras. Next week will probably be on cable for sure.
Oh, right.
You know.
Cable.
After this, we're gonna talk about some of the media coverage you've been getting. You know, like this has been a media.
Circus.
Well, yeah. You know, and
Frenzy.
and there are usually clowns in the circus, but I'm just saying that you guys have been covered by a lot of people I see, and
Because this guy's knows, Probably
I'd like to talk to you about the rendition of Hockey Night in Canada, or since we've done.
You got it.
Name again?
We'll crack right into that.
Okay, because next week I have a feature on we're interviewing Gordie Howe tomorrow.
Oh!
You guys got to go down to the Windsor Station. They're having a big Hall of Fame exhibit with all kinds of paraphernalia, and the Stanley Cup is actually there.
Let's go. Let's
No,
go.
Yeah.
it's a copy of
Hey,
No, it's a real.
Listen,
It's a real one.
listen. You know
I'll
what?
bet you $100.
in glass.
$100.
Listen, you two duke it
$100
out.
bucks.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, real Stanley Cup was there.
It always stays at the
Yeah.
Hockey Hall of Fame. But you know what? Yesterday we did an interview on Mix 96, and then the AM station. I can't remember.
CJD.
Guess who we met? Dick Irvin.
Yeah, he broadcast
The
that.
guy. Dick Irvin, ladies and gentlemen. We're not even. Guys, it's just a
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's do that hockey night.
Because I want to mention if you guys are also here to check out the All-Star game.
Oh, we won't be. We'll be in Ottawa
Yeah,
tomorrow.
it's too bad.
They only sold 35,000 copies. They don't have enough money to buy tickets.
That's right.
That's right.
What do you say?
2 cents royalties
Who are you?
plus
You
money.
came in late.
And our gasoline and hotel expenses are free.
Like you have a Petro-Canada card, like in the commercial.
You got a credit card, man?
Yeah. Tiger Esso card.
Yeah, we've stolen one of those tigers.
I know.
Oh, we're gonna sing the Concordia song too.
You have a Concordia song?
The Concordia
The
song.
Concordia
I
song.
just know the chorus.
Okay, well. Okay, are we ready to get back on?
Yeah, ready?
Okay.
Okay, 3, 2.
Well, we're back with Moxy Fürvous. As you see, the King of Spain speaks for itself. Now, can you tell us about all this media coverage you guys have been getting, and what's making you so popular, do you think?
Well, before we answer that question, we have a little public service announcement. Mike?
There was a time when I went to Concordia, and it was a real education spree. Yes, I was a real browner at Concordia, and I lived there quite happily. And as years go by, Concordia never dies. You know, they use that song on the Concordia commercials?
Have you seen those
Around the
commercials?
world?
They must be around.
They show
there
like
somewhere.
these
Hannah
people who
Gardner.
graduated in
Hannah Gardner,
1969.
yeah.
Come to Concordia. And it was
Yeah.
a song written by a group called The Sound of Montreal.
That's right.
TSOM.
Wow.
In 1968.
And so come to Concordia.
Okay, well, tell us
Yeah,
about this.
about the media coverage, though.
Yeah, the
Um,
media coverage. Yeah. What about it?
It is pretty. It is pretty wild. In fact, and it's very much the case with a lot of things with Moxy Fürvous, the record companies and media, and that we've just sort of in the last year really just kept working and playing our live shows, and the audience has grown, and they've really come to us. We've never really banged down. A lot of people have said to us, you know, you must have a great press agent, because we do get a lot of media and positive media, and it's just kind of happened, you know. And part of it is, I think, reflects not only the population's desire, but also the media's desire to be covering and seeing different alternative kinds of music to the commercial pop status quo that or corporate rock that happened throughout the 80s.
Or Status Quo itself,
And
the band.
And
Right.
so people are the media, not unlike the people who come to our shows, are if nothing else, just excited that there's something different going on stage. You know, if not a grunge alternative group, you know, an acoustic satirical group.
Now you guys are on a tour right now. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, it's a 3-week sort of mini tour. We did the country in every sense of that phrase in the fall for 3.5 months, and now we're on a little sort of mini tour. The 401 tour, as it's dubbed, and it's sort of between what would be the furthest flung empires that we've traveled in the last 3 weeks.
Buffalo. Yeah, the big Windsor gig. That was great. Buffalo, Sudbury, Peterborough, London, Guelph, Montreal,
Kingston.
Ottawa, Kingston.
So you've been to the States.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Played in
So-
New York.
so-
We played on Broadway,
it's,
man.
It's
Wow.
everything they say. It's everything they say.
And how do they react to a Canadian band with a name like Moxy Fürvous?
Well, they fortunately for us, they didn't kill us. We escaped alive.
The show was totally sold out in Buffalo. It freaked us
Yeah.
out. We went out. There's over 600 people,
Yeah.
and it
Totally
was
sold out.
really great.
They receive a Toronto radio station called CFNY, and that
I guess
That-
the jig's up.
that's
If we hadn't mentioned that,
that
it
is the
would've been
factor to which we attribute our success.
Okay, well,
Buffalo.
great. Well, thanks a lot for coming down, guys. Do you guys want to do another number? Or you have a guitar like just sitting there waiting to be played.
Sure.
Okay.
Right on.
Why don't you sing your more troubadour-like number, Mike? You're more sort of classical.
Now, when you
style.
do-
Mike's
what's that
from
called,
Ireland. Mike's from Ireland. And,
Mike-
Oh, he's from Ireland. Can you introduce yourselves? Like, I know you're Michael Ford. You're the songwriter,
No.
bottle washer, chief
No.
cook,
Ixnay.
Ixnay.
Nix.
Nix.
Valley from beyond the green door of lies. No, we're all songwriters. All 4 of us write songs. I by no means have written the most. and we all have a certain little,
song.
heaven's overflowing and hell's full, and we're chained to the world, and we all got to pull. That's the theme in this group.
And you're
I'm just Murray.
just Murray.
Yeah.
And you're just.
Jian Gabeshi.
And you're
Thank
just
you. Edgar Winter.
Edgar Winter. Oh yeah. I know him.
He's got a bit more color these
No
days.
relation.
No relation.
Lads.
Okay, what you guys gonna do for us?
Can we stand? Will it give it some levity and some breath if we stand?
And
guys, or
levitation.
we Screw up the old. Lighting.
Yeah, the cameramen are blanching.
Okay, I'm gonna stand. Oh, look at that! It's a nice. Guys, anybody want a screw?
Well, let's stand if we're gonna stand.
Oh, I'm gonna stand. You can sit.
Dave is definitely the comedian
Okay.
of the group.
Lazy lumps.
Okay.
The guy with the hat is, by the way, that's David Matheson.
Thank you. Hi, how you doing?
I just spoiled your pseudonym now.
I'll be standing. No, I saw that. Yeah.
His name's actually Miles Standish. That's why he always wants to get up.
Get on up.
Get up.
We're just tuning the guitar here while we.
Okay.
And when we sing,
This is a song from our little cassette, actually. That's called The Drinking Song.
We hope you like it.
Now, where's your cassette available? If I walk down the street in a record store, can I find like
Anywhere. Any
Yeah.
major record store.
We have nationwide distribution. That's just a small indication of the success of this damn thing.
Great. Well, I know you guys are popular in Montreal. We've read you in the Gazette, which is our one and only daily major newspaper, and we've read you all over. Oh yeah.
We're also featured in some of the francophone press this week.
Wow. You sing in French too. Tu parles français aussi. Hein?
Oui, parfois on fait des chansons en français.
Ouais.
Oui.
Let's do a little bit
Okay,
of that
great.
French number.
C'est une chanson en français. And the band played on as the helicopters whirred, drunk on the lawn in a nuclear dawn. My senses finally blurred. He was a rock. To the end, a solid reminder. Couldn't deny a friend. We lived in the noise and the sweet amber poison, beaking up the skirt of the end. And we'd drink. Two gnarly dudes in some records, much like plates of black food. We filled up our faces, saw some far places, stood on the roof in the noon, and the band played on as the helicopters were drunk on the lawn in a nuclear dawn. My senses finally blurred between poles. He said, we're like cows in the grass, brushing off flies, chase lounging around, standing up, falling down, till we no longer opened our eyes, and we'd drink. Ever notice how drinking's like war? Cup of troops or the gums, to the end of our health campaign against myself, armed with bourbons and scotches and rum, and the band played on as the helicopters were drunk on the lawn in a nuclear dawn. My senses finally blurred. Think of bombs. We're poised on the edge of disaster. Whether it's right or it's wrong, we opened the window, played some Nintendo, sang a few bars of some pretty old song. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. Oh, to dream. Those impotent bones of extinction, flying graceful and free. None but the best, 'cause the man cannot rest till he's finally beaten his meat. And the band played on as the helicopters were drunk on the lawn in a nuclear dawn. My senses finally blurred till the end. He passed out on the sun deck that morning, quietly saying goodbye. But I was so hammered, I sputtered and stammered. Told him he couldn't just die. He was a rock. Went straight for his own Armageddon. Face froze in a grin. Ambulance flying in. I never drank again. Can't really call that a loss or a win. And the band played on as the helicopters whirred, drunk on the lawn in a nuclear dawn. My senses finally blurred.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Concordia.
Thank you, camera guys.
TV Concordia.
And we're gonna see you at Club Soda for sure. And where else in Canada are you playing after Montreal?
We move to Ottawa, or we play in Ottawa.
Then
and,
move there.
And then we play in Markham, St. Catharines. And then we get prepared to record our first album, Paul.
All right.
Yeah.
When can we expect that?
Probably June, we hope.
June?
Yeah.
So June, we're gonna see Moxy Fürvous on CD and all over radio stations and T-shirts and the whole paraphernalia.
And you saw it here first, folks.
Hey, well, thanks a lot for dropping in, guys, and we're really looking forward to
Our
seeing you in the
pleasure.
future.
Thanks a lot, Paul.
Best of success, you guys.
Yay!
Give yourselves a round of applause.
Okay. All week.
Okay.
Maybe you guys should be Letterman's next band. You know?
Good idea.
Sure.
Okay. Now I'll do the excerpt for tonight.
Rock went straight for it.
Drunk on the as the helicopters were drunk on the lawn in a nuclear dawn, my senses finally blurred
Between poles, he said, we're like cows in the grass, brushing off flies,
chase lounging around, standing up, falling down.
till we no longer opened our eyes and we drink. Ever notice how drinking's like war? Cup of troops or the gums to the end of our health campaign against myself, armed with bourbons and scotches and rum, and the band played on
As the helicopters were drunk on the lawn in a nuclear dawn, my senses finally blurred.
think of bombs. We're poised on the edge of disaster. Whether it's right or it's wrong,
We opened the window, played some Nintendo.
sang a few bars of some pretty old song.
Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene.
I'll see you in my dreams. Oh, to dream those impotent bones of extinction, flying graceful and free. None but the best, 'cause the man cannot rest till he's finally beaten his meat. And the band
is finely blurred.
Till the end. He passed out on the sun deck that morning, quietly saying goodbye.
But I was so hammered, I sputtered and stammered.
Told him he couldn't just die. He was a rock. Went straight for his own Armageddon. Face froze in a grin. Ambulance flying in. I never drank again. Can't really call that a loss or a win.
And the band played on as the helicopters whirred, drunk on the lawn in a nuclear dawn. My senses finally blurred.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Concordia.
Thank you, camera guys.
TV Concordia.
And we're gonna see you at Club Soda for sure. And where else in Canada are you playing after Montreal?
We move to Ottawa, or we play in Ottawa.
Then
and,
move there.
And then we play in Markham, St. Catharines. And then we get prepared to record our first album, Paul.
All right.
Yeah.
When can we expect that? to come
Probably
out?
June, we hope.
June?
Yeah. Yeah.
So June, we're gonna see Moxy Fürvous on CD and all over radio stations and T-shirts and the whole paraphernalia.
And you saw it here first, folks.
Hey, well, thanks a lot for dropping in, guys, and we're really looking forward to seeing you in the
pleasure.
future.
Thanks a lot, Paul.
Best of success, you guys.
Yay!
Give yourselves a round of applause.
Okay.
all week.
Okay.
Maybe you guys could be Letterman's next band. You know?
Good idea.
Sure.
Okay. Now I'll do the excerpt for tonight.